latest and last edition of DBE News for the year 2021. This bulletin is aired every Friday, either at 12 p.m. on the Dbe TV channel if you have an OpenView decoder, or Bricks TV channel 509 at 4:30 in the afternoon if you are a StarSat subscriber. Or you can watch it on the Department of Basic Education's YouTube channel. Remember to share the link with your friends, family, and anyone in your circles. My name is Psychosocial Moagi. Let's take a look at the top stories this week. Director General Matanzima Mweli visits marking centers across the country as the marking of the grade 12 scripts gains momentum. The Basic Education Department has once again reiterated that no child can be denied education because a parent cannot pay school fees. There are calls for learners, parents, and the community at large to take care of textbooks handed out to learners. Find out more about the learning and teaching support material in this bulletin. And the piloting of the General Education Certificate will continue next year in 2022. Stay tuned to find out what has transpired thus far. You can get in touch with us by using our social media platforms on Twitter at DBE_SA and at Dbe TV News, Facebook DBESA, Instagram DBESA. You can use the hashtag DBE News. Let's start here. The Basic Education Director General Matanzima Mweli is crisscrossing the country, monitoring marking centers. The process, which started in earnest on the 8th of December, is expected to be completed on the 22nd of December. Mweli has expressed his gratitude to all markers for the sacrifice they've made to ensure results are released on time next year. During his visits, Mweli has urged everyone to continue following all COVID-19 protocols.
We are extremely impressed with what we've come across. COVID-19 protocols in place, marking directions being observed, every marking center, and I'm sure the pictures will attest to what I'm saying. I am overjoyed with the spirit that markers are in. They are looking forward to even finish marking before the anticipated date of the 22nd, the 23rd. Many of them should be finished around the 20th. The spirit is extremely high, and you've got an extremely experienced, knowledgeable, and people who know the work that they are doing. So we are very pleased with what we have seen so far. We're looking forward as we move on to Northwest, Northern Cape, Free State, Mpumalanga, KZN, Eastern Cape, and then round off with the Western Cape, that the same trend is going to continue, and we emphasize health and safety first, given the surging infections in the country. That's the first message that we are giving to every marker.
Now let's take a listen to part of the message the DG gives during his monitoring visits.
Ensure that we can vouch for the marks that are going to come out of this exercise, that no learner who is not deserving marks should be given marks, and no learner who deserves marks should be compromised in any way. And they've been doing this for years. Some of you have been doing it for over 15 years. Met with one lady last year. She said to me, "Thank you very much for affording me this privilege. I've been marking for 25 years. I am now retiring and I'm leaving education." I was at awe to observe that there are many men and women who completely give their lives to education, and we really need to salute them and thank them for the immense sacrifice, countless sacrifices that they have made in the basic education sector to keep it afloat. 2020 was a difficult year, and the beginning of 2021 was even more difficult. We lost friends, we lost markers, we lost senior markers, we even lost the head of the department in the Eastern Cape through COVID-19. But thanks God that you stayed the course. Even if it was difficult, you raised your hand and you were there when we needed you to secure the future of the class of 2020. And here you are again, this time around, to do the same for the class of 2021. The minister directed me to convey a profound appreciation and thanks for the immense and countless sacrifices that you are making. I think it might be useful for you to know that many countries cancelled their public exams. They even cancelled their academic years. UK is one of them. They did not sit for their public exams. Learners were assessed from school-based assessment. But you reconstructed the academic year and saved the future of the class of 2020. We have no doubt in our minds that you'll do the same, even for the class of 2021. Please find time to rest after this exercise.
The COVID-19 pandemic has had a detrimental effect on many households, with some people losing their jobs or other financial circumstances, leading to parents being unable to pay school fees. The Basic Education Department has reiterated the importance of parents speaking to the school's principal about the change in circumstances. Parents who cannot afford to pay school fees must apply to the SGB for conditional, partial or full exemption from paying school fees. According to the department, schools must not charge school fees for orphans.
In applying for this school fee exemption, the school will avail a document for application to the parent and take the application, and they should be able to respond to the application that the parent has made within a period of 30 days, where a parent will be indicated to how much of the school fees now they can be able to pay. There are cases where when the school applies its mind following the regulations on school fee exemption, they will be able to apply. There are formulae that are put there to indicate whether, once those formulae are used, they will indicate whether the parent does qualify for school fee exemption or not.
Takedi adds that this information should be made available to parents when learners are accepted into a school.
When you go through the regulations for school fee exemption, I think it's paragraph 4, it does indicate that at the point where a school admits a child, at that very point, the parent should be educated about the fee issues. And one of the things that the parent should be informed about is that they do have an opportunity to can apply for school fee exemption should there be a problem in paying for school fees. So if schools are doing things properly and correctly, and principals together governing bodies are doing things properly, no parent should be in a position where they don't know about the measures that have been put in place by law that allow parents to can be exempted from school fees.
The department has also reminded school principals and SGBs that no child can be denied the right to basic education, especially because a parent cannot pay school fees.
It is also important to note that if the financial position of the particular parent changes again and becomes better, maybe the company has now been able to recover and the parent goes back to their original position of being able to get an income that previously allowed them to pay the agreed upon school fees, then such a parent should also display that element of integrity and honesty to go back to the principal and say, I am now able to pay the fees, and then start paying the fees to the school. So no child should be denied the right to education. No child should be denied the right to be in a school because of the parent not being able to pay fees. Parents should also be aware that it doesn't assist for them to hide their financial position in order that they should be exempted. It is always good to work in good faith with the school so that those that really do have financial challenges should not get punished because somebody else some other time lied about their financial position.
After the break, we get more information about the learning and support material provided by the department. Stay tuned.
I'm Mara Glennie. I'm the founder of an organization called Tears, which was founded to help rape victims anywhere in South Africa, whatever their age or belief or color or religion is. And one must remember that abuse is normally done to a child by a well-known person. It is not stranger danger, that's a lie. Allow your child to be able to tell you anything. Without expressing shock, you can express concern, caring and love. But your child should be able to tell you anything. I think that returning to school is incredibly important because the roles that the school plays in a child's life is teaching many skills that people in the homes don't have the ability to teach. So what we need to do is we need to learn that there are rules that are for the safety of the child, and how best do we make sure that whatever rules we enforce helps the child not to get COVID, not to be hurt. So how you treat your child today, how your child is in school, will affect them for the rest of their lives. So we need to be a society that genuinely cares. And the old days of a child being seen and not heard is long gone. We need to hear their pleas for help.
Mina igama lami nguMonica Mwachi, iposition yami la ngi-intervention specialist, ngisebenza ngokuhlukunyezwa kwabafazana nabantwana nabafana. Siyazama ukunceda kakhulu ezintweni ezinjengema-gender based violence, ukuhlukunyezwa ne-sexual abuse kakhulu ebantwaneni. Khona manje njengoba kuba ne-COVID-19, kwaphela abantu baphelelwa imisebenzi. Abantu bahlala ekhaya kwaba ne-lockdown e-strict. Bese mhlambe kube nokungazwani kahle endlini. Bese kuchaphazelele ebantwaneni bayibone lento ukuthi yenzakala. Bona bayoyipractice ngaphandle. They are vulnerable. I-vulnerability yabo yiyo le enza ukuthi ekugcineni kube ama-target. I would say it's a good idea for them to go back to school because mabahlele ekhaya they are not monitored. Mabasesikoleni at least bazokwazi ukuthi umntwana uzoba nokuthi uthole i-sanitizer, uthola i-mask, uthola indlela yokuwasha izandla. Masihleli la ekhaya azikho lezo zinto. Siyabaxosha nathi sithi bayasidina, bayodlala ngaphandle, bahlangane nabanye, bahlangane nabantwana abanye badlale nabo kanjalo babe infected ngale COVID-19. So abantwana abancane they are easy ukuthi uba monitor just to guide them to the correct way. So I think ukuthi mababuyela esikoleni they will understand better. Abothisha abantu ababanika indlela yokuthi bafunde ngayo.
Welcome back. The Basic Education Department has pleaded with parents, learners, and every member of communities to realize the importance of textbooks. The department provided all learners with learning and teaching support material through a variety of ways. This included titles that need to be used by schools in different languages and grades and even levels. The DBE has also developed state-owned material from different grades and languages in partnership with civil societies and the private sector.
We also provide workbooks annually. This project of workbooks is aimed at ensuring that learners are assisted with standardized exercises as an additional resource to textbooks. These resources are perishable. They provide exercises that learners can do at school as well as at home. We provide about 60 million workbooks annually since 2011. The different workbooks are in all 11 languages. Lastly, we also want to put a plea or to ask parents, schools, and every member of community to actually realize the importance of textbooks. We have developed strategies around how do you retain and ensure that textbooks are well kept so that they can last for a period of minimum 5 years, sometimes more, including it can take up to 8 years that these books can be used by the learners so that the next learner is able to access the same resource.
The department has developed a policy for these textbooks or workbooks to be retained.
It's our plea that every member of society takes care of their textbooks so that the next learner can be able to access the same resource, as it has become more expensive to procure textbooks annually due to loss, damages, and any other eventuality that we find ourselves in. And therefore, we also developed a document called a 50-point plan where we are advocating for the community to know their roles and responsibilities around LTSM, including parents in this regard, where we should be able to track where the textbooks are. The learners are given the textbooks in January, they must return them in December. So it's the responsibility of the parent to ensure that those textbooks are kept in a safe place so that they can be reusable in the following year by other learners. Lastly, we also have picked up a pattern where schools are withholding results on the basis of learners not returning their textbooks, which is unlawful. The Human Rights Commission is pronounced on that matter, and therefore we urge schools not to withhold reports or results of learners. The contract is between the parent and the school, not the learner and the school, and therefore we request schools to desist from doing such activities.
Find out more about the General Education Certificate after this break.
So the Dbe Foundation renders services to victims of child abuse and their families, providing psychosocial support and medico-legal support. It is critical that children are provided with this opportunity of returning to schools. A lot of them are suffering as a result of COVID-19, the unintended consequences of COVID-19, the deprivations that children are subjected to. We're looking at where previously children had access to feeding schemes. Now children are facing starvation, so that's a deprivation. Many children are presenting with increased levels of anxiety, fear, confusion, trauma, and a lot of other mental health conditions. The reality is that children are going to be infected regardless of wherever they are. The vector of transmission one needs to realize is that it's adult on child and not child on adult. COVID exists everywhere. It's within the home environment, within the surrounding areas. Less children have died of COVID-19. What we are faced with is that more children are going to be dying of starvation and food nutrition and food security.
The Department of Basic Education is committed to ensuring our schools are safe and regulated environments for our children to build their dreams. Our top priority is to balance the health risk and the risk to children's education and protection, building inclusive, resilient education systems fit for the future. Education is the key to personal development and the future of societies. As the world faces unsustainable levels of inequality, we need education, the great equalizer.
Welcome back. 34 schools in the country were sampled to participate in the General Education Certificate Pilot Project. 14 of the schools in 5 provinces participated in the standardized tests written this year. The GEC is predicated on the 3-stream model, which has the academic pathway, the technical vocational pathway, and the technical or occupational pathway. The plan aims to send more learners into technical education. Under the technical vocational stream, there was a target of 10,000 artisans per year. The department has also introduced new subjects, technical mathematics and technical science, which could be referred to as applied science and applied mathematics.
Currently, we are busy analyzing the data and we are working together with our stakeholders to see how we can bring the data of the standardized test, the inclinations assessment, and the integrated common assessment tasks together. Those 3 tasks are forming the core of the GEC.
And COVID-19 did not spare this pilot testing either.
Because of the COVID challenges that we faced in 2021, as well as the window that we had to do the pilot test, we experienced and we observed that there was a lot of pressure on schools. What we've observed so far is that the entire GEC process needs to be guided by technical standards and standard operating procedures, which we will implement moving into the 2022 field test, which will consist of around 300 schools.
The piloting of the GEC will continue next year, where standardized tests will once again take place.
The field trial for the GEC in 2021 will again take place in the 3rd quarter, where learners will be doing, from the sampled schools, will be participating in a integrated common assessment task across 5 subjects. And then in term 2 and in term 3, an inclinations assessment will be administered. At this stage, we are looking at administering this assessment both online and on a WhatsApp application on the Teacher Connect network. Then in November next year, there will be standardized tests again for 5 subjects, which will be the home languages, first additional language, mathematics, natural sciences, and EMS paper 1 and paper 2.
Moving over to KZN, where the Department of Education in that province has undertaken a thorough review of its operations to improve the delivery of services. The 2-day session happened in Durban, where senior management took stock of the work done thus far, but also identified weaknesses in the system. The acting head of department, Dr. Barnim Tembu, said it was important for the review to take place in order to find new ways of managing the system to make it efficient and active.
The Department of Education has decided to have this strategic review so that we find a way of establishing the progress in the 6th administration, taking from the strategic plan that we had in few years ago. But the most important thing here is to check the progress we have made and ensure that then we sit in commissions try to map the way forward where we feel that we are not doing well. In terms of the National Development Plan, we're also interested in knowing what is it that we have achieved. So there are many milestones that we are looking at. We have all officials present here, senior managers, because we are operating now at a strategic level where we're looking at all those issues. We are looking at how we have provided infrastructure, how we have improved in curriculum delivery, how we have improved in inclusive education, what progress has been made in the production of material for learners and provision of books, and also the human resources, the filling of posts. So we are actually taking a deep analysis of where we are. And we do hope that after the commissions, we are going to come out with resolutions which are going to take us forward.
That's how we end this year's news roundup on Channel 122 on OpenView, on YouTube, and on Dbe TV Channel 509 Starset. Thank you for watching every week for 8 months. It has been a pleasure bringing you all the news happening in the basic education sector. Remember, during these holidays, to continue reading with your children, as readers are leaders. Also, please make time and read the Bella Bill, which has been gazetted by the Minister before it goes to Parliament. Enjoy the break while following all COVID-19 protocols. Have a blessed Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Until next year, it's goodbye from myself, and the entire team.